Howdy, everyone, and welcome back for another week. If you've been tuning in the last few weeks, you know we've been talking a lot about your team and scalability and the most important 5 people behind the scenes in your business. And I made mention about how to hire and these hiring considerations. And so a lot of you were like, yes, I need that. So that is what we're talking about today. Now, what's really interesting is it's not necessarily in the traditional way you may have thought about hiring in the past. But we're going to go over the 3 types of hiring that you should consider on your journey, as well as those 5 considerations that tell you, help guide you in the right direction when you're looking to hire another person for your team. So be it your first hire or your 5th hire, anywhere in between and beyond. These are things you can think about as you look to expand your team. So if this is the first time you've come across the Be More Successful show, I'm Leslie Hassler. I own Your Biz Rules Business Coaching. And what I do is help women-owned service-based businesses get growth and scalability right so that it's profitable and sustainable, which really translates to you being able to do more of your good work and have a greater impact in your community and build a financial legacy for yourself and your team. So that's really kind of important for what we're talking about today. So hiring team, leaning into others, leveraging others is an important component of scalability. There is just a certain cap of what you can do by yourself. It's oftentimes much lower than I think what we would expect it to be. There is technology, there are systems that can help you, but you still get to the point in time to where you only have so many hours in the day. Your team only has so many hours in the day. In order to grow again and scale, you really do need to look at hiring team and putting key people into place. So when you hire, what I want you to think about is, are you hiring for a task? Are you hiring for a result? Or are you hiring for the moment? And so the moment is a little bit of a bridge, if you will, especially if you're early on in your journey and maybe you're still working on some financial stability in your business. Maybe you're into growth and the money just doesn't feel like it's lying around for you to be able to invest to the level of a staff member that you might want to invest. That's that hiring for the moment is kind of the bridge gap between where you are, meaning you're probably hiring for more than just tasks. You're probably hiring more for results, but you're not able to make that permanent commitment just yet. And so we'll talk about that here in just in a second. What I kind of want to give you is these set of 5 questions to ask yourself, a little bit of a screening, if you will, that will help direct you in the right area. Because traditionally we would think I have to hire a W-2 employee. There's so many more options in our gig economy to supplement the labor side of your business that I think you need to be a little bit more broadly open to how you're going to make this happen. So the first question I want you to consider is, where are you on your journey? Are you just starting out? Are you in growth mode? Now, growth is hard because growth is really that 1-for-1 return on investment. So for every dollar you invest, you typically get a dollar back. So it almost feels like you're breaking even, if you will, and growth sucks cash. So it's a challenging place to navigate, if you will. Or are you scaling, which means for every dollar you invest, you have an exponential factor that comes back into your business. So that's that first question, and knowing where it is. The more stable your cash is, the more able you are to allow a full-time hire or even a part-time hire, but a permanent hire in your business to come in, the more I guide you towards that permanent hire. Because any hire that you make is not going to be just like guns a-blazing day one. It takes time. And statistically, that can take as much as 9 months for you to see the full return on that investment. So you have to consider these things when you're looking at it. The second question that I'll ask is, are you hiring for a task Or are you hiring for a result? Interesting thought process with this question. A lot of times people hire their first admin. And for a lot of industries, that makes perfect sense to hire that admin because you're making yourself more productive at generating an income. Make total sense. But sometimes what we don't understand is we're only doing this flat trade-off, a trade-off between managing the task or managing the person. So depending on how you hire for that task, you may not get the rewards that you're looking to get. This happens so much in small businesses. And so we have to look at then, does hiring for the task serve you, or is what you really need to do is hire for the result? Now, the result means that you're managing a KPI, right? You're thinking at a higher level, but for the most part, that management of the person or the management of the task is not on your plate. So you actually do gain some economies of scale, if you will. This is a really important question to ask yourself. And the next question kind of feeds right into it. Is how repetitive is the task? If it is a highly repetitive task, or if that result is very key, strategic to your growth and your scalability, then that leans ourselves more to higher skilled work and hiring for the result. If it's a one-off, then you do have to do the thing of like, do I just get it done? Do I delay it because it's not significantly important? I mean, it might be important, but it's not urgent right now. Or do I use the gig economy? Do I find a resource on Fiverr? Do I find a resource on Upwork to help me with this one-off task so that it's not on my plate? It's almost like you're getting the benefit of hiring only paying for what you really need. So that's question 3. Question 4 for yourself is, do you have a process? One of the biggest things about a task, especially when you're teaching somebody else to take over that task, is having a documented process that actually helps them do that work on their own. So that's question number 4. And the last one is, does this make you money? At the end of the day, as the owner in a business, your job is to do the work that only you can do. And if you're looking for growth and scalability, it is truly about, does this task or result that you're looking to hire for, does it create cash in a business? So those are the 5 things that you can kind of talk to yourself through. And it really depends. It's like I have this whole matrix that I sometimes share with my clients about the decision tree. But at the end of the day, you could hire any one of 3 different buckets of people. One is that gig economy, right? The one-off resource. We have a couple of our processes that actually go through 5 different Fiverr resources to get one task done. But I don't have to pass the part of moving the task from this person to this person. I don't have to worry about, is it getting done in the middle? Because it just gets done in a certain number of days and then we move on, right? So that's just a way that I've taken a repetitive task, but still use the gig economy and that micro temporary cost. I'm only paying for what I need at the moment, but it's not a full-time need. Then you have your subcontractors. Now, these are people, I love playing in this area because I don't want to manage the task oftentimes. I want people that already know how to do what it is that they do, and I'm willing to compensate them for that so that we can get the result that we're looking for. But ultimately, employees come into the game, right? And that is your more permanent hire. So hopefully these 5 questions that I've given you, the 5 considerations, will help you figure out who to hire, when to hire, hiring the right people at the right time for the right job, so that you can keep on your growth and scalability journey and be more successful. If you liked today's episode, please let me know. If you have questions, let me know that as well. And if you found value in what I shared today, please share it with your community. That's how we get the good word out. So that's it for today, guys. I'll see you next week back here On the Be More Successful Show, I'm Leslie Hassler with your Biz Rules Business Coaching.